Limpopo Provincial Government Spokesperson Ndavhe Ramakuela now joins us for more on this. A very good evening to you, sir. Thank you so very much for joining us here on SABC News, sir.
Good evening, Flo, and all the viewers.
All right, let's talk then about this third, it is of course the third conference then of its kind. What's been achieved, in the last two conferences? We know that, there were certain pledges that had been made. Did they materialize? And what were they used for if they did indeed materialize, sir?
Yes, indeed. We have had a successful 2 years wherein we were able to match the kind of investment that came from the pledges. As we reported early this year, the Premier of the province, Mr. Chupu Matavata, indicated that out of the investment pledges of 250 billion that was made in the previous 2 years, we have realized over 150 billion of that being investment in agriculture as well as within the mining sector. And a large portion of that in terms of special planning and development, wherein we found a lot of areas where the investors had invested in the industry for mining. Anglo Platinum has done a lot of work of over 100 billion within the Polokwane, as well as the bigger investment in DBS in the side of Wembe. So most of this work has been realized in the past year. We are looking forward to making sure that the commitments that have been made in the past 2 years also see them through. We have investment in agriculture that has given us an opportunity to link our agricultural products, particularly avocados, that are now farmed in Limpopo, that are directly connected now to the markets in China. So that type of investment, for example, with ZZ2, who have built a plant within their establishment in Limpopo, that has seen a lot of that work now bringing more attraction from the side of China. Agreements have been signed now, and we've seen that particular result. So we're talking about over 150 billion that already has been realized in the past 2 years.
The province says that it wants to attract domestic as well as foreign investors. I thought it was quite interesting that China was in particular named as one of the foreign investors that you seek to attract. One would argue, some might argue that China already has a big footprint in South Africa and the country generally. Why China in particular?
Well, it's because of the willingness and opportunities that have been cultivated through the national government over the past few years, that we have seen the results of South African relations through BRICS. And that kind of connection is beginning to bear fruit in our relationship with China, Russia, and other BRICS countries. So that is not a surprise. It should be commended for work that has been done over the past few years that are beginning to bear fruit with these partnerships that we're creating with the BRICS countries.
Yeah. And there's this question that's always asked, and pardon me, I'm going to ask it again. And I mean, because I think it's a legitimate question, which is usually asked when it comes to these sort of things. In terms of how this all improves the lives of ordinary people. And I hear you talking about investors, but some argue that these investors come and they take what they take. They give very menial jobs to South Africans, and then we must all be excited and be grateful for that. So let's talk about how it translates, from the top to the bottom in terms of, improving the ordinary lives of people in Limpopo.
That's true, Flo. We see a lot of this investment as areas that over a period of time, they will make an impact on our economy. There are statistics that have come through in the previous year. In the first quarter, the labor survey statistics showed that Limpopo had improved by about 77,000 jobs that it created over that particular quarter. And not so long ago, towards the end of August, the second quarter survey were released. And that also showed a great improvement for Limpopo. Actually, it is the leading province with over 80,000 jobs that were created within that particular quarter. So we can't say that there isn't any impact on the lives of ordinary people when we are seeing that it might not be at the scale and the rate that we require, but there has been a consistent improvement on the work that we want to do. Our economic output, even if it's growing by a smaller percentage, has shown that there's a positive growth that's coming through. So the impact of that is going to be felt, of course, over a period of time as it's measured through various research and statistics that are showing us how far we're doing in that particular area. So it's not just a talk at the moment. Limpopo at the moment is a leading province in terms of the labor survey, number one province, followed by the next one that only had 56,000 jobs. So we can't say that it doesn't exist. It exists, and the evidence is there now for us to see.
All right, so let's talk about your expectations then for next week, as of course the conference does then indeed kick off next week. What are you hoping then to achieve this time around?
Yes, we made the biggest strides in the first conference with over 250,000 billion that was pledged. And at this time, we're looking at 30 billion. But the bigger portion of the conference would look into how to actualize all of that commitment, particularly when we look into renewable energy. We're looking greatly onto the automotive industry and how do we use the resources that are available within Limpopo to make a bigger impact. And of course, is to grow the mining portfolio that already has footprint in our province, as well as then the elements of agriculture. We spoke earlier about how part of agreement has seen agricultural products now linked to markets directly. And we believe that there's still enough opportunities for us to explore that, particularly for the small scale farmers, and also to develop small and medium enterprises. And that's one of the areas that we're hoping that on Wednesday and Thursday next week, as we meet, we'll then keep on opening up those opportunities as we link them to practical examples and investment that we're able to see in our province. So we are making about 30 billion as a pledge that we are hoping to get in the next conference.
All right, well, good luck to you, and thank you so very much for talking to us. Let's hope that the conference does indeed go well. That is Limpopo Provincial Government Spokesperson Ndavhe Ramakuela.